Have you ever realized that you know what's happening in your friend's life, but you don't really know how they're doing? Maybe you've received texts of vacation pictures or family updates. Maybe you saw a new job announcement, and maybe you're seeing some of these on social media. But then one day it hits you and you think, when is the last time we actually talked? I mean, really talked. Not a text message, not an emoji, not a like or a comment on a post, but an actual conversation. Are you staying connected or are you staying updated? Because I think these are two very different things. And I think it's important to know the difference, especially with the people that are closest to us in our lives. And that's what we're going to talk about today. In today's digital world, we know more about each other than ever before. Years ago, if you wanted to know what's happening in someone's lives, you had to have a conversation with them. I'm talking years ago. Now you can know where they vacationed, family updates, what is their favorite restaurant, what they bought, all of those types of things by just looking at your phone. And you can know all those things without even having a conversation. And not that that is a bad thing, but it is a little bit different. I remember years ago, I had a friend and their family would go to Alaska every year for a couple weeks, and where they were going was only accessible by plane. And we actually wrote letters back and forth during that time when my friend would be gone. And so today, if you want to do that and share your experiences, all you have to do is pick up a telephone, drop a text, post a few pictures, and they're there for everyone to see, which is absolutely fabulous because we can share experiences like that. But then we also have to ask ourselves, how connected are we? Staying updated is not the same as staying connected. You might know what is happening in someone's life, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're connected to them. You know what happened, but you don't know how they feel about it. Are they excited about it? Are they nervous about it? Are they struggling with it? Right? Those are the things that go deeper when you stay connected to someone instead of just checking out updates occasionally. And that is really where the real connection happens. And that's why it's so important for our close friends for us to make sure that we are staying connected. Even though we're getting a lot of updates on their lives, we all know that a lot of times updates on social media may not always represent 100% real life. And with some friendships, that's okay to stay in touch that way. Text messages, emojis, social media messaging, because not every friendship needs those deep conversations, because not every friend is in your inner circle. Some friends are casual friends, and you may use text and social media for that exact reason, to keep up on each other's lives. Or you may have a close friend who lives on the other side of the world, 12 hours time difference from you, and it is just the most effective way for you guys to still keep in touch via text or social media posts, see what's happening in each other's lives until you can find a time that works for both of you to have those conversations and still remain connected. But sometimes your closest friendships are going to need a little bit more. You're talking about your inner circle, your best friends, people who matter the most to you. Those relationships are going to need more than just updates, right? The occasional text, the occasional emoji, things like that. Because if your friendships with those people just start becoming text messages, emojis, reactions, likes, and comments, then you might start feeling that you're missing something. You might start feeling that you're losing that close connection with some of your friends, right? The laughter, your deep conversations, your stories. And sometimes, let's be honest, life gets busy, especially depending on what stage of life you're in. And sometimes, if you have big news or you have an announcement, sometimes it's easier to send a group text. Sometimes it's easier to post something on social media than it is to contact 5, 6, or 7 different people that you want to share your news with. That is perfectly understandable. And sometimes we don't really know that we're feeling like we're losing a connection because we are still seeing the person, we are still talking via text, and it almost makes it feel like that connection is still there. You are literally looking at their face, or you're having a text conversation with them, and you might not realize right away that, wow, we really haven't had an actual conversation in quite a while. And how do we know if we're losing that connection with someone? Well, like we just talked about, when is the last time you had an actual real conversation? Do you know how they are doing outside of the quick text or maybe the post that you see? Do they know how you are doing? Do they know if there's anything different happening in your life? Anything new? Do you know if there's anything that they need to talk about other than what they've already texted or that you've seen? Do you talk about anything beyond just the updates? Do you know how each other are doing? And what do you do when you realize, wow, I know everything that's happening in my friend's life, but I don't really know how they're feeling about it? Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, make that phone call, see if they're available for coffee. Just let them know you want to reconnect, have a great conversation, let them know you've been missing it, and you want to just check in with each other to see how each other is doing. Because sometimes just seeing updates, especially about those close to us on social media or just a quick update via text, sometimes that's just not enough to maintain that real connection that you want and you want to keep. Social media, text messages, even voice memos. They've all opened up so many more ways for us to stay in touch and communicate with each other and even make friends through shared interests and communities. But when you start relying on that type of communication with your inner circle, your closest and your best friends, that's when you may start losing the connection and closeness that you used to have. I don't think social media and technology is hurting every friendship. I don't think every friendship needs constant conversations. But I do believe it's possible to know what's happening in someone's life without really knowing what's going on with them. And when it comes to the people who matter most to us, that is a difference that I think we should pay attention to. And if this got you thinking about friendships that matter the most to you, I want you to check out this next video where we talked about what actually helps friendships stay strong over time, not just survive, but actually last. I will put it right here, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.